Hi guys, welcome to this screencast on individual differences. So what we've looked at so far is personality, attitudes, motivation and social facilitation. Today we're going to be looking at arousal, and actually for this whole week we'll be focusing on arousal. So what do we need to know? We need to be able to define arousal and then look at the effects of arousal according to these three different theories: drive theory, inverted U theory and catastrophe theory. As I have said, these are theories, these are people's opinions on how arousal can affect our performance. So these are the questions you can get on arousal. Arousal gets asked very often. In 2022, there was a question on inverted U theory that I think was a 4 or 5 marker, if I remember correctly. So they do enjoy asking questions on arousal. As you can see, there's a 10 marker here. Okay, so what we need to know. First of all, definition of arousal. Arousal is simply the intensity of our behaviour, and it can be positive or negative. So please ensure you get that down for me. So the drive theory itself, I want you to draw this out. We need to be drawing every theory out. You can get marks for drawing the theories out if you draw them correctly. So first of all, the drive theory, as you can see, you've got the y-axis and x-axis. So first of all, please ensure that you have arousal, performance, low, low, high and high. And as you can see, this arrow suggests that as arousal increases, so does our performance. However, that is slightly too simple for this theory, so all we're going to add on to it is as arousal increases, so does the performance of our dominant response. Okay, so an increase in arousal causes an increase in the performance of our dominant response, or performer's dominant response. So what we need to know about the drive theory then, alongside this, is which learner does this positively affect and why, and which learner does this negatively affect and why. We also need to know what types of skill this positively affects this theory, and what task or type of skill does this negatively affect and why. First of all, which learner it affects positively is going to be an expert. Okay, so an expert learner has well learned dominant response and will perform better under high arousal levels. For example, a cricketer hitting a 6 when trying to impress friends. Now, their friends is they're the audience, so we know that arousal levels are going to be increased anyway in front of an audience. So an expert's dominant response is well learned, therefore they're likely to perform better under high levels of arousal. In contrast to that, a beginner's dominant response will not be accurate or will not be well learned and will perform worse under high levels of arousal. For example, a beginner cricketer missing the ball when trying to impress their friends. Which task type will this affect positively? It's really similar to social facilitation, so it's going to positively affect grow skills and simple skills. So high arousal will help grow skills and simple skills, whereas high levels of arousal will negatively affect fine skills and complex skills. So please ensure you get those down. So that's the theory itself, in terms of high levels of arousal will increase performance of dominant response. Now what we need to know are the positives of this theory and the negatives, or the advantages of this theory and the disadvantages. Well, first of all, it's simple to understand. As arousal increases, so does performance of dominant response. It's more reliable by relating arousal to dominant response. So this dominant response part is really important, i.e. stating as arousal increases, so does performance is really basic, because of the fact that we have beginners that don't have well learnt dominant responses. And then for some experts, it is an accurate representation of what happens when arousal increases. So for example, we can use Team GB performance at London Olympics, where we had Super Saturday and we had all those gold medal wins at home in front of our home audience. Again, we know that audience increases our arousal levels. As well, it is accurate for certain skills, for example, gross and simple skills. It is accurate for those. Now, the more of these you can remember, the better. However, you don't need to remember them all word for word. Just ensure you remember 3 minimum. Try and get all 4, that would be great. However, it is too simplistic a view of the relationship between performance and arousal, and the other theories that we do in the future will go into a bit more detail of what they believe or how they believe arousal affects performance. It does not explain poor performance with high arousal levels. For example, a high jumper hitting a bar at low height in an Olympic Games. And it disregards the impact of over-arousal for elite performers. So, that's everything I want you to have on that. Please ensure you get good questions on those, and I'll see you in lesson. Thank you.